Hello, and I am chatting with Annette, and I'm going to tell you and anyone else listening about this weekend that we had, the Cultural Emergence weekend. So, as you know, I was very excited about creating cultural emergence, and I'm part of study groups who study emerging, giving voice to what's emerging in the moment. And I was able to mix the social permaculture, the wilderness education. So that's like all about people connecting with nature and all the kind of meditation work that I've been doing with evolutionary culture over the years. And all of that was merged and supported with the facilitators, Lex and Manu, who've got their own wealth of artistic and scientific knowledge. So between the three of us, we hosted a weekend here at my home farm, permaculture farm, and children came along. So it was all ages. We had ages 7 months to 77 years old, and all in all, over a few days, it was about 40 people, two groups of 20, and so culture emerged, and we just. We started with a quiet meditation walk down to the beach, across the rocky bed to the port, and back up through the field. And in that process, we allowed ourselves to play on the beach and opened our senses, like what's it like to touch the grass as you're walking? What's it like to walk barefoot on the beach? And in the first stage, we kind of allowed ourselves to be childlike. And then we walked a bit further on, and I got to the harbor or the port, and I said, okay, so this is the heart harbor. So we just kind of listened with our hearts. Everybody, we agreed we wouldn't talk to each other, so we walked quietly and took it all in. And as by the time we reached the top of the hill, where we just landed on the soft moss and grass, we just sort of lay there, looked at the sky, and I suggested that we look at the horizon. The horizon of hope was the name for the day. And we looked at the horizon and then beyond the horizon with hope, in a hopeful way. So we had traveled from within ourselves, all our senses, and then to beyond the horizon, as though like taking it all in, including everything. And I think at that stage, it dawned on us that we were beginning to see through a new perspective. It's like when you shine the light, or you kind of see with new eyes. Anyway, we then decided to continue the walk and just stop at this lovely rock. It's a large boulder, and we stood there and made a declaration to ourselves, either personally or out loud or through a movement, so that we are open to using language that could be beyond our usual way of expression. And that was the foundation for a 2-day event. And in the whole weekend, we actually found that telling our own stories was really liberating. Everybody took time to listen to each other in a deeper way than we normally give ourselves. And then we told our stories, things that have emerged for us, that we have been inspired in the moment just to go for it. It could be tidying up your house in a certain way, or doing a particular project that you didn't expect to do, but deep down you're really probably were thinking about it or feeling it for a while. So what has emerged, certainly for me, is the realization that mentoring and supporting each other by listening to each other and sharing some of the things that inspire you, and some of the tools that so many of us are picking up, that are all allowing you to go forward and being open. Without a lot of what we did, by the way, was like let go of our baggage. So realize that some of our identities and our beliefs and our cultural conditionings, all of those, lovely as they are, also contain things that hold us back. So we let ourselves allow the gems of our life to be included, and the sort of the other things that actually inhibit us were like compost. So they're useful, but they're not actually being used to help us express. So the standing on the rock was like a declaration of or an expression. And that's basically the most significant thing, was that expressing ourselves and listening to each other is really, really central and most enjoyable. And then we did a lot of creative, we sang songs and listened to stories around the campfire. There was a stage when I realized it's best not to have too tight a schedule so that emergence can come. And then we did some lovely artwork to express the river of life. And the river wasn't in a linear shape, it was large sheets in a circular shape. And people came up with the past, present, and future, including the children. They were drawing as well. It was very, very filled with hope, basically. And people left then, having arrived from different parts of the county, the peninsula, the county, the country. And we're all going to keep in touch and hopefully have more cultural emergence weekends. But I know that any weekends that people spend together, and or any time that we spend together, is beneficial. And the other great thing about this particular approach is that I think a lot of us have many interesting approaches, and this one is called a framework. So it's like a structure that you can hang anything that you do, so you don't go and have to learn something new. Really, what cultural emergence is primarily is a framework, so that you and your family or your group can sort of harmoniously, or you kind of have an inner peace, and that then translates to an outer peace. And simply, if you're organizing an event, be it a wedding or a birthday party, or a community workshop, that you can kind of reference this and get the best conditions to go forward. So yeah, I appreciate you listening, and I appreciate that I got a chance to share a little bit. And I just hope that everyone has a good summer. And if you want to actually get in touch with me again, do. And I would love to share more of this. And I also would love to facilitate people coming here. And some wonderful skills are being learned. I know, Annette, you have got some really amazing skills. And if you wanted to come back to Ireland, that I would like to facilitate you. I feel like there's plenty of educational opportunities. And perhaps over the winter months, we do some online connections to support and nurture ourselves. And then in the spring and summer, and, a nice rhythm in flow with nature. So I'm just going to give the website so that anyone who did get to tune into this, for which I'm grateful, you can keep in touch. My name's Kathleen O'Hara-Farron, and I'm at theedgeschool.net. So www.theedgeschool.net. Thank you. I hope you have a lovely day. Cheerio.